it really just shows when you all come together that when women come together, magical things happen. And today I want to talk to you about something that's very dear to my heart and that has been a driving force in my life. And that is sisterhood. The first time I experienced sisterhood, I was only 15. I was this young teenager, Brazilian, who had just arrived in South Africa, in Johannesburg, still under apartheid. Discrimination back then was not only a matter of color, but also of gender. Girls, we had home economics at school, so we had to learn how to cook, how to sew, how to clean, while boys, they used to learn metalwork and woodwork. And the same in sports. I remember going to watch a friend of mine's brother row in this beautiful lake in South Africa. And I was so excited because it really reminded me of those movies I watched on TV, like Dead Poets Society. So I really wanted to try it out. So I said to my friends, "Oh, girls, let's go on the boat. Let's go to the other side of the river." And they said to me, "We can't." And I said, "Well, how come?" "We can't because we are girls. And girls back then, we couldn't go onto a boat just because we were girls." Now that really drove me crazy. I said, "Come on, that's not possible, right? No, we have to cook, we have to clean, we have to sew, and we still can't go rowing." So we were really determined to try and change the mind of our headmaster. So every day we would go to see our headmaster and we asked him to do a girls' rowing team until he finally said yes. Yes. We were really excited. We wanted to show him that girls could do just as good as boys. So we would wake up in the morning before school at about 5 o'clock, we'd go training. After school as well, we had blisters on our hands. But I'm very proud to say that at the end of the very first season, we won South African championships. Thank you. Well, it wasn't very hard. There weren't that many teams. We were only a few girls teams. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I learned so much from this experience. I was only 15, but it really changed the way I dealt with challenges. It showed me the power of teamwork, of hard work, of never ever being a victim in any situation. But it was also more than that. I experienced for the very first time the power of sisterhood. You see, my teammates, they were my sisters. We had each other's back. We empowered each other and we trusted each other. You see, sisterhood is not just a group of girls or women coming together because they've got, some common interests or something like this. This definition only scratches the surface of what sisterhood really is. Sisters, we share a common dream, right? So when you have a circle of women sharing a common dream, committed to a common purpose, and taking action together, well, we can change the world. Sisterhood can be a powerful force in advancing social justice because it allows women to unite and speak against systemic injustices such as sexual assault or women's rights. Sometimes silence is the enemy, and speaking out is key to be free. You see, the Me Too movement encouraged women to share their experiences of sexual harassment and assault, highlighting how it is present across industries in every single sector. The movement has led to increased awareness of the issue, and changes in laws and policies have started to make. In our lifetimes, we have seen enormous advances in the status of women and girls, and yet, women and girls will still remain the first target and victims of barbarous acts. These fundamental rights that we, our mothers, and our grandmothers, we fought so hard to obtain, remain so fragile. And Simone de Beauvoir, who's a French philosopher, she says it so well. Never forget that it only takes a political, economic, or religious crisis for women's rights to be called into question. These rights can never be taken for granted, and you must remain vigilant throughout your life. Women's rights in Afghanistan, in Iran, in Poland, in Texas, and everywhere in the world concerns us all, right? So we have to stand up together with these brave women because we are all sisters, and we all have to stand together and fight for our rights. So if I ask you, what makes an empowered sisters? What sisters, what are they made of?
They stand together, side by side. From dusk to dawn, we hear them roar. Their voices are loud, their spirits free, proud of who they are and who they will be. They fight for justice, education, and parity, to own their rights and their bodies. They've been knocked down, but they get back up with resilience and courage. Who are they? Mothers, students, or simple girls. They break down walls and shatter glass, taking up space on this earth and beyond. Sisters, rise up and take your place. Claim your voice. Speak your minds. Let's stand up and spread the word that sisters are in town. And we are here to stay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our society often portrays women as competitors rather than allies. We are constantly pitted against each other, being at the work, in society, or even within our own families. We are made to believe that there is only so much room at the top and that we have to fight tooth and nail to get there. But let's face it, building sisterhood is not always easy because we're all different. We all have our strengths, we all have different personalities, we all have different weaknesses. And that's okay. Sometimes we may not see eye to eye, but the fact is we all have to respect one another. That's the main thing, it's respect. Because the truth is that sisterhood is the key to every woman's success. We should start practicing sisterhood as early as possible. In a world that often tears us down, sisterhood is our armor. It gives us the strength to face any challenge, to take risks, and to stand up for what we believe in. If I were to ask here for you today, what is it that you believe in? What do you want to fight for? What's your purpose in life today? I can tell you mine. My purpose is to help other women embrace technology, to be able to bridge the gender gap and to empower women in this industry. Technology literally changed my life 15 years ago. I'm not going to be oldering myself just for that. So 15 years ago, I found myself in a crossroad. I had to rethink both my personal and my professional life. I was in high level in a corporate career, but I had really no satisfaction in my job. I thought to myself, what do I really want to do? What's my dream? And the answer was, well, I want to do something creative. I want to be able to travel more. I want to be useful, and I want to be able to spend more time with my children because I had 2 children back then. So adding up all these dots, I said, well, maybe I have to go into tech. So I started learning how to code. I quit my job. I quit my husband at the same time. And I started learning how to code so I could build websites and social media apps. And the digital skills gave me the freedom that I was looking for. Not only was I able to be financially independent and to make my own choices, but I was able to really live the life that I wanted. So for 10 years, I grew my company, I opened 2 companies, and I grew my family. I had 2 more children. Until I had the last pregnancy was very difficult. I had to lay down for 6 months, otherwise I would lose the baby. So when I finally gave birth, I was exhausted mentally, physically, and I had to recharge my batteries. So here today, I went to an event. I said, well, let me go find out where other women are doing. I want to get inspired by them. I want to know the new tech trends. So I thought that the perfect choice was going to Web Summit in Lisbon. When I got there, I knew that there were not a lot of women in tech. This I knew, but what I didn't know was that the gender gap in tech was getting wider and wider every year, and this for the past 40 years. So I got really angry. It was a shock for me. I thought, come on, we were in 2017, things were getting better, but not at all. Let me give you some numbers. Did you know that today only 20% of the workforce in tech is female? That less than 3% of venture funding goes to women-led startups. That women and girls have 30% less access to devices to the internet than men. And that in G20 countries, only 15% of STEM graduates are women. So because I was so upset, I said, well, let me look at what are being done around the world is so big, there must be things that are being done. But most of them, the ones that were really talked about, were just like marketing things. So they would give like some form of discount for women to come to the event, but nothing was done to be really to solve the problem from the root side. So I decided to create Women in Tech. I imagined it as a catalyst for change, focusing 4 core areas: education, business, digital and social inclusion, as well as advocacy. A safe place for women to be able to network, to grow, to share stories, but also to learn, to get skilled, to get jobs, and to be able to grow together on a global level, because there's not one country in the world that has found parity, nevertheless, parity in tech either. So I didn't know where to start. I had no money, I had no partners, I knew no influential people, but I had 2 things. I had a dream with a purpose, and I'm a true believer that dreams drive change. And I love this quote of Marsha Weeder because she says it beautifully, and I had the chance to meet her. She said that the difference between a dream and a fantasy is that if you take action, a dream can become a reality, while a fantasy is an imaginary idea. The paradox is that if you don't take action, the dream will always be a fantasy. And this is the essence of Women in Tech: dreaming big and driving change.
It started with a dream to close the gender gap in tech, and a purpose to help women embrace technology. And it turned into action. Women in Tech promotes girls and women's empowerment around the world, focusing on 4 main pillars: education, business, digital inclusion, and advocacy. This bold vision is what has united our movement across the boundaries of culture, geography, and status. Our mission is to empower 5 million women and girls in STEAM by 2030.
We do this through a number of programs and services offering skilling courses that go from digital literacy to blockchain and mentoring. Our Talent Hub brings together companies who are searching to hire diverse talent and skilled women looking for jobs or new opportunities. Today, Women in Tech is one of the world's leading organisations for inclusion, diversity and equity in STEM.
Our community counts thousands of members across the world with chapters in all 6 continents.
And thanks to our team, Women in Tech has already impacted 250,000 women across the world.
230,000 people have taken part in our events. 20,000 women have completed our education programs. 2,000 mentors and mentees have been paired. 250 computers were donated to South Africa, India, and Brazil. But more than numbers, we have impacted lives.
Our work has been recognized by presidents, ministers, and a royal princess who has given us their high patronage for our global summit and awards.
Our journey up to now has been so difficult, but it has also been paved with amazing human connections beyond my wildest dreams.
Most of our team are volunteers, giving more than just time.
We are paying it forward. We're sharing our love and our commitment within our communities.
Our strength is only greater when we come together as one.
I always get teary in my eyes when I see it. Because if today Women in Tech is one of the world's leading organizations for women in technology, it's thanks to the power of sisterhood. Never could I have done all of this by myself. The first person to help me out was a lady from North Macedonia. Her name is Elena Kolevska. I didn't know where to start back in 2018, so I put up like a little post on LinkedIn, and I said, I want to build a boot camp for women who can help. And she was the first one who said she could, because she had an EdTech platform then. And so we made a boot camp, and where we taught 50 women from 35 different countries how to code. So the youngest was 14, and the oldest, she was 56. And it's important to say, because there's no age to transition into tech or to transition in anything you want to do, right? I think there's this like taboo about women's age. I'm 47 today. And I think, I'm still reinventing myself. I just learned some like blockchain courses the other day. And I think it's really important for us to carry on and learning throughout our life. So this lady, she taught 50 women how to code, all of this, and she's from North Macedonia. So 1 year later, in 2019, when I was going to Skopje to open up our chapter in North Macedonia, I was telling the story about how this lady from the country was helping me. And I see this little hand like stand up in the crowd, and I said, yes. And her name was Dina Damjanovic. She was this young woman, and she says, I was one of those 50 girls that I learned how to code. Back then, she used to work in a hostel in Skopje. And thanks to this boot camp, it gave her the courage to continue learning and to become a front-end developer. And back then, in 2019, she was just starting her new job as a front-end developer in this company. We have followed, she's part of our community now, and today in 2023, she's the managing director of an IT firm in Skopje with 50 people, and she gives back to the community as a mentor, mentoring other women to come into technology. So this is really the ripple effect and the power of women. Yeah, we can. I must say that I have been blessed to have crossed the paths of the most incredible women in my life. I'm going to start crying because when I think of them, it gets me all emotional. And 4 of them are here with us today. So I don't know if Monica is here now, but Monica Rizovska, our ambassador from North Macedonia. So she's the one who reached out to me back in 2019 and who opened the Skopje, the chapter in North Macedonia, and they're the #1 impact generator for us. They have impacted almost 80,000 people in Macedonia alone. So she's doing incredible work with her and her team, and really, I wanted to say congratulations to her. Yes. Here they are. Elina Valiva as well. She joined Women in Tech in 2019. So she started as the chapter ambassador for Russia, and she had something like 200 or 300 volunteers working and helping her. I don't know how she did that. She must be like a real inspirational leader. She was just up there because she has founded her startup called Essence, that is a femtech that's helping women with their health. And today she's part of our global team, and she's head of our non-technical program, and she's here with us today. So great woman, you can go and meet her. Angela Hilawi, so she's a new ambassador for the UAE. She will be leading the Women in Tech activities here in the country. So if you have any ideas, if you want to collaborate, if you want your help, if you want to partner, sponsor, give anything whatsoever, volunteer, please come and see her. She will be there to help you. And then Nadia Melo. Yes, my right hand, my friend, my sister. I'm gonna get emotional. Just to describe my gratitude, my love for you. My love and respect, I don't think Women in Tech would be if you weren't there. Okay, so sisterhood is not just a bond, it's a movement, right? A movement that has the power to change things. But for real change to happen, we all have to take part of this change. And as powerful, inspirational individuals that all of you are here today, I want every single one of you to be champions for other women when you go out there, right? And there are 3 ways in which you can be a champion. You must find your tribe. What's your tribe? What are you interested in? If you don't find a tribe, create your own tribe. Find women, a circle of women around you that will be able to uplift you, to support you, to help you. Women that share the same vision, the same passion, and the same purpose that you have. Acknowledge your superpower. That's easy to do, but that's easy to say, but not so easy to do. We all have superpowers. We all have something that we're good at. We all have strengths. You can't say, no, I don't have a superpower. Yes, you do. Find it. Or if you don't know it, ask people, what do you think my strengths are? If you know what your superpower is, you must know that sisters, empowered sisters, are superwomen. We really are. And I'd say the last thing that you can do is mentor. Mentor, giving back. You can, throughout your life, you can be a mentor and mentee, and that is so precious because it allows you to grow, it allows you to share your knowledge, open up the networks, share what you have done so that others can really benefit and you can leave a legacy at the same time. So now I'd say it's time for us to believe in ourselves, to empower each other, and to transform the world, because when women come together, there is absolutely nothing that we cannot achieve.